Hey yo, welcome to another edition of Hey Yo with D Shelton. I am the host of this show, podcast, whatever you want to call it, Del Rico Shelton. As always, please like, share, and subscribe to Hey Yo with D Shelton. We are on Spotify, Apple, and iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts. Please like, share, and subscribe. Please like, share, and subscribe. As always, we are sponsored by Rose Sweets LLC. That's Rose Sweets LLC, the best cupcakes and cake pops in the DMV area, small based business out of Southern Maryland. You can reach them, see their products at Rose Sweets LLC. Excuse me, I'm a little tired. Row underscore Sweets underscore LLC on Facebook and Instagram. Once again, that's Row underscore Sweets underscore LLC. You can also contact them for orders at rollsweetsllc at gmail.com. And once again, thank you for Riverside.fm for providing the platform so I can get this face and this voice to the masses to give y'all what y'all want to hear. You can also reach Riverside.fm through Spotify for Creators. It's new. Give them a look. You can also follow social media of me through Hey Yo exclamation point D Shelton, with D Shelton on TikTok, and you can now reach me at Hey Yo D Shelton .bsky.social. That's Blue Sky. Blue Sky looks like Twitter, old Twitter, I should say. The mass exodus is happening for, dare I say, obvious political reasons. But we're not going to talk politics. I got something special for y'all. I want to say Thursday when I record it. But today, if you're watching me right now, you see I got my hoodie on. It's morning time. I'm sipping on some coffee. And as I promised on my TikTok, once again, Hey Yo, exclamation point, with D Sheldon on TikTok. I didn't have the energy, I should say, to do a podcast directly after the Dallas Cowboys versus Houston Texans game. Mainly because I don't know if I was emotionally drained. I don't know if I was disappointed, which I shouldn't have been, because as a friend of mine was texting me out, and as I've said, I watched the games, all 22, and I see things that the ordinary person's not going to see because I know this game backwards and forwards. And when that person texted me, I said, I hope I'm wrong, but you'll see. They text me back, oh Lord. And on Monday Night Football, the Dallas Cowboys got shellacked 34-10. Let me say that again. My Dallas Cowboys got shellacked 34-10. Which makes Dallas's record, as it stands right now, 3-7. So, first year of Mike McCarthy, 6-10. Understandable, taking a fucked up situation. Next 3 years, 12-5. And now we are in the pits of hell. I'll explain a lot of why we are in the pits of hell in a little bit. But let me get to the game. Ironically, to me personally, I can't necessarily blame the defense all the way through. Except for that first drive where, you know, Joe Mixon, who used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals, they got him in the offseason trade. Again, Jerry, a trade for a running back or through free agency would have been nice. And Joe Mixon pretty much, it was his drive. Joe Mixon in the first half had over 100 yards scrimmage wise. Let me sip on my coffee some more. Which tells me you ain't prepared for this shit at all on the defense end, but they held tough. You know why they held tough? Because it was 17-10 at halftime. Now, mind you, 17 points in the NFL technically is not a lot of points. But for this defense, to hold a team to 17 points in the first half, I call that a win. That's how bad it's gotten. Joe Mixon finished the game with 20 carries for 109 yards, 3 touchdowns, an average rush of 5.5 a pop, and his longest run was 45 yards. Again, this was his first drive for the 45-yard touchdown. Simple play. You can call it the old Mike Shanahan play. Zone block to the right. Plants right foot. Cut back. Hit middle. Gone. Outran Trayvon Diggs. Damn. That just wasn't it. Nico Collins, who just came back, 4 catches, 54 yards. Tank Dell, 4 catches, 54 yards. Joe Mixon himself, 2 catches, 44 yards. The Houston Texans. C.J. Stroud. If you want to call him being held in check, cool. C.J. Stroud, altogether, was 22 of 34, 257 yards, average completion 7.6 a pop. He was picked off 1 time. He overshot Nico, and Malik Hooker was just Johnny on the spot, one of the easiest interceptions you'll ever get. That actually stopped the drive. He was sacked 1 time. His QB rating was 77.7. Let me sip on some coffee again. You know, it's a sad day. Oh, the total QBR, ESPN's QBR, C.J. Stroud was 51.5. Which you would actually think that would be kind of damn good. You really thought that would be kind of good. Remember what I said, the score 34-10. I'm trying to paint a picture for you all right now. All right. Michael Parsons had 11 QB pressures. 11. He couldn't get to CJ. But he forced CJ to throw early, high, low. Wasn't enough. You know why it wasn't enough? Because Joe Mixon ran for 109 yards and 3 touchdowns. And it seemed like every time Joe touched the ball, something good happened. You know when I said that you thought CJ pretty much was held in check, you got to watch the whole game in its context. Did CJ play a good game? A great game, excuse me. Nope. Did he play a good game? Eh. Did he play a decent game? Yes. Because anytime there was a situation, somehow Nico Collins and Tank Dell running wide open. Again, I said it a couple podcasts ago. Dallas Cowboys. Since I've watched my squad, especially these last 3-4 years, they are not a zone team. You got to play zone every once in a while. But this is a man-to-man team. That's how Micah can get his sacks. And DeMarcus Lawrence, when he was healthy, could get his sacks. And the rest of the team could, piggyback. Because the man-to-man defense held up. For some reason, I keep forgetting. Mike Zimmer likes to run the dumbass zone. And may I say this, the Dallas Cowboy defensive players are not intelligent enough to run zone. There's too many wide-ass gaps. It's like they are standing in a spot. Instead of checking who's going where, they don't even talk to each other like that. I'm speaking of the Dallas Cowboy players. Hey, man, you got that over there. Hey, man, watch this over here. Hey, go up. Slide over. Putting themselves in a proper position for the zones. Let me sip on some more coffee. Besides DeMarcus Lawrence, I'm sorry, Michael Parsons. Pardon me. DeMarvion Overshown is the only dude that I see that actually pops. Now, granted, he missed 2 sacks. He did. 1 sack could have stopped the drive, and C.J. Stroud escaped and ran for a first down. Another one, if I remember, C.J. pretty much overshot another receiver. This is why I say there's context involved. It's not about the stat sometimes, it's when the stat occurs. This defense stinks. Deron Bland, might as well say he's not going to play for the rest of the year. Because he was inactive again today. Just like he was inactive last week. And I'll quite possibly be inactive for against the Washington Commanders. I'll talk about y'all in a sec briefly. Since I promised I was going to do a mini pod and I forgot. Overall, this defense can't cover. If it ain't Micah Parsons, really can't produce any pressure. And dare I say, can't tackle. But remember, Jerry said there were players, the young players, that should have been playing last season. I'll get into that in a second. The offensive side of the ball. Cooper Rush. 32 of 55 for 354 yards, an average completion of 6.4, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, sacked 5 times. Rating 75.9, QBR rating 30.4. Hence the difference. Remember, CJ 51.5, ESPN QB rating, and Cooper Rush 30.4. The Cowboy running game produced a grand total of 64 yards, while the Houston Texans produced 141. I remember Mike McCarthy, I want to say it was her name, Lisa Stroud, said before the game started, they were going to try to get Rico Dowdell the ball more. Rico Dowdell dropped two passes. One wasn't his fault because it was behind him. But here's something that I don't understand as I sip on some more coffee. This is a dumb shit that I think Mike McCarthy and I'm not going to just say Mike McCarthy, other coaches do. I'm not telling y'all shit what we about to do. This is why Bill Belichick is a GOAT. They're going to ask him questions about game plan stuff, and Bill will not answer none of that. You know why? Because the other team's going to look at what you say. And then they're going to make last-minute adjustments to, I don't know, stop what you say you were going to do. Mike McCarthy told Lisa Stroud, as you heard in the broadcast, that they're going to feature Rico Dowdell more and give him more touches. You don't think DeMeco Ryans and that coaching staff heard that through interviews and the grapevine and all that stuff? Rico Dowdell, 10 carries, 28 yards, 2.8 a pop. CD Lamb, again, another reverse. 1 carry, 13 yards. By the way, that 13 yards was the longest rush of the day for the Dallas Cowboys. Deuce Vaughn. We had the Deuce Vaughn sighting. You know, the 5th round pick a couple years ago because his dad is part of the organization. And I like Deuce. 4 carries, 13 yards. Ezekiel Elliott, 1 carry, 8 yards. Cooper Rush, 2 carries, 2 yards. Basically, he ran for his life because the offensive line stinks. Receiving. CD Lamb had a good game. 8 catches, 93 yards. 11.6 a pop. You remember when I said a few podcasts ago, a few episodes ago, I said, can we please get Kevontae Turpin some reps at wide receiver? And yes, a couple games ago, he did fumble. But everybody tends to forget, you know, the now merged with the XFL. I mean, what was it? The UFL? But the New Jersey Generals, he was the MVP of the USFL. Just a thought. Kevon Turpin was second. 3 catches, 86 yards, a 64-yard touchdown in which he top speed was 22.4 miles per hour per ESPN. So you got a playmaker, but you are so fascinated, and with good reason, for him to return kicks and punts. That's how he got in the league. But I wouldn't mind seeing Kevon Turpin on the field more as a wide receiver, slant, in breaking routes, whip routes. I mean, no, a bang 8. No go balls because he's only like 5'8", 5'9". But can you get him the ball in space? I think you can. But the offense is so archaic, and you all won't give him a decent shot. Could he be a number 2? No, but I could damn sure say he can be a bomb-ass number 3. 22.4 miles per hour on the catch. and run for 6. Oh, Luke Shoemaker, who actually like 6 catches, 56 yards. Brevin Spam-Ford, another tight end, because Jake Ferguson got hurt again. Concussion. Get well, Jake. But Dalton Schultz on the upside is having one of his best seasons. But that, another tight end. Like I said, four catches, 42 yards. Jalen Tolbert, who's supposed to be the number 3, but right now is number 2. 2 catches, 21 yards. As I sip on some more coffee. So, by the way, have you ever seen a double fumble before? Cooper Rush fumbled. This is where the comedy errors come into play. All right. Dallas is driving. I want to say no, it was second quarter. I remember now. Second quarter. Shotgun. This is why I say it's archaic. Cooper Rush drops the ball again. Has to fall on him. Dallas ends up kicking the field goal. Because I want to say when he dropped the ball, it was like what? Maybe the 14-yard line. So you possibly took 7 off the board. So it could have been 17-14. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Late in the ball game, Cooper Rush, again in shotgun, gets hit. Fumble. Okay, sack fumble. Okay. But then, one of the boneheaded things I've seen, because I don't understand Tyler Guyton. He gets the ball. The left tackle that every week seems to either have a holding or false start or just flat out getting beat like a drum, especially with inside moves. He picks the ball up and decides, I'm going to be a running back instead of just falling. He gets completely blasted. But what's Petrie, I want to say? This is all in the same play. He picks the ball up. I mean, big man with football, I can't remember who, picks the ball up. And again, big man with football runs into the end zone. 27-10 at that point. Basically, game. Oh, and you wonder why Dak Prescott gets paid $60 million? Y'all really wondering why? See, this ain't about just the football. It's not. It's not just about football. On the field, I should say. He's getting paid to deal with this bullshit that's on the field. For those, once again, and I said this on TikTok, who swear all up and down for like 2 years, Cooper Rush is a better quarterback than Dak Prescott. Are you saying that shit now? Because I can honestly say, Dak got nothing to work with. He got a number 1 receiver, that's it. You can scheme a number 1 receiver out of the ball game, especially if you got an archaic offense. Have y'all checked out the New York Jets and Aaron Rodgers? It's the same offense, by the way. Hint, hint. So Dak Prescott, and this might be the blessing in disguise that he did finally decide I'm going on IR for the rest of the year because he had a surgery. Get well, Dak. Number one wide receiver, check. Offensive line, stinks. No running game, stinks. No number two receiver, ow. Tight ends, his starting tight end this year, inconsistent and constantly hurt. Defense that gives up over 100 yards every single goddamn game. Safeties that can't cover. One cornerback that can cover, so they go to the other side. And every time I see Trayvon Diggs get beat, somehow is in fucking zone. Or he gets beat, but he's actually right there. Sometimes wide receiver wins. Most times they do. But you want Dak to make chicken salad out of chicken shit. So, as I sip on my coffee again, who's to blame? An 82-year-old man who refused to give up power, who swears, I'm the man for the job. If you're the man on the job, the man should have been fired a long time ago. Let's go through the comedy errors, Jerry Jones. After last season, when Dallas got shellacked at home, by the way. Oh, by the way, this is the 7th straight game that Dallas has lost at home. And if I recall, it's a record of getting shellacked, I think 6 times. It might be 7 times too, of getting beat by over 20 points at home. The worst in Cowboys history. And mind you, this was a team that in 1989 was 1-15, by the way. Oh, for those that are looking at me, yes, I'm wearing the hoodie because I barely want to see my face right now. Back to Jerry. You conducted the squad. You knew you was going to pay CeeDee Lamb. You waited till 10 days before the season to do it. You put Dallas in a little bit of cap hell with that. You gave Dak his extension hours before the first game. Well, you also could have did this a couple of months ago. And from experts say it probably would have saved Dallas between $20 to $25 million. Now, that's going to command a little bit over $89 million next year. And CD is going to command about 34 to 35. So basically, you have given 2 players $130 to $35 million. And I think the cap is about $245 or $250 next year. And already you talked about, and that slid underneath the radar, that you're going to have to reconstruct their contracts all over, possibly, to get underneath the cap to get some stuff. Well, you could have did this, I don't know, April. You could have given them money in April and it would have saved some money. But you couldn't afford Derrick Henry, who Baltimore's paying $8 million. But you're paying Zeke $3 million. Okay. Let's go to the coaching aspect of the situation. Mike McCarthy is on his last year of his deal, so it's going to expire. So pretty much you got a lame duck coach. Now, yes, the athletes are professional. But if I know that the coach really doesn't have any power and he's leaving because his contract expired, since you didn't even give him a year extension, which you could have done to give Mike McCarthy more power, now the team is in a free fall because guess what? They ain't got to listen to him no more. What for? He's gone. Michael Parsons don't do little shots. Other players have done little shots. Mike McCarthy lied to get the job. Mike McCarthy lied to get Kellen Moore out. How's that working out? Kellen Moore, his offense in Philly is the top 10, and he got a running back. Speaking of coaching, again, points off the board. Here's where the comedy errors came into play on the coach side. Okay. Dallas kicks a 64-yard field goal. Okay. 64. But we take the points off the board because personal foul, head slap. Got no problem with it. Get basically into the red zone. It's 4th and 2. Analytics say go for it. Now the score at this point is 20-10. Kick the field goal. Common sense will tell me kick the field goal, down by a touchdown. Nope. I don't even know what that play was because it was 3 Cowboy receivers. First off, it's a rollout with Cooper Rush to the right side. And 3 receivers are all bunched together. Do you know how easy that can be defended? There was like 5 defenders to 3 receivers. I don't know if someone ran a wrong route, which I suspect, but even still. Huh? Of course Dallas didn't get it. And if I recall correctly, Houston goes down and kicks the field goal. Then, as I described earlier, the fumble, the big man with football, touchdown, all that shit snowballed. How about in the first half where for the second week in a row, you tried a fake punt? Defense was playing decent at that point. Why? If I recall, it was 7-0 at that point. As I sip on some more coffee. So we got bad personnel. Star players are hurt. Dak, Deron Bland, DeMarcus Lawrence, Michael just came back. Oh, Zach Martin's old. Zach Martin even got hurt. Oh, by the way, Guyton got hurt off the fumble that he picked up and thought he was running back. The last 2 plays Dallas had before, that bullshit drive that didn't amount to nothing because the game was over. And you ran on the last play a draw. What the fuck for? You might as well try and score. You know what I mean? We had a Jonathan Mingo sighting. The dude that Jerry traded for a 4th round pick where the Kansas City Chiefs got Hopkins for a 4th round pick, but you're the man for the job, Jerry. Make it make sense. Oh, and Jonathan Mingo had 2 passes thrown to him, both incomplete. This team stinks. And I was there when we was 1-15. The schedule to me only has 2 more wins, possibly. The Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants. And that's not guaranteed. I said it on the previous podcast. I need this team to bottom out. I need to bottom out. Oh, for those that want Deion Sanders to come to this bullshit, this monstrosity of a team, don't hold your breath. He's not coming. One, he does not want to coach professional football. I don't care what ESPN says. They're trying to do a narrative. He does not want to coach NFL football. Why, when he can mold young men? Why, when he has the University of Colorado this close to making the college football playoffs? Why would he leave that when he can control everything? He's not going to control a goddamn on thing with Jerry, even though he knows Jerry. Jerry's want the flash. By the way, Jerry don't hinted that I think Jason Witten would be a great head coach. He reminds me a lot of our old tight end. He's speaking of Dan Campbell. Have you seen Jason Witten anywhere since he retired for the second time? You remember, he retired, went to the booth, did a good job, mind you. Then went to the Raiders for a year. We haven't seen Jason Witten since. Help me understand that. That's Jerry being Jerry, trying to keep headlines in. If you hire Jason Witten, Cowboy fans should fucking revolt. That's me too. Go back to Dion. Why would he come? So he can watch millionaire players do dumb shit? Dion is a, don't let the chains and the glasses and the cowboy hat and, you know, his bravado fool you. Dion is an old school coach. Do you think these players, if this works, let's say Dion does come, devil's advocate, half the squad got to go. Half. Because when you a football player in Dallas, you tend to get what you want. That's part of the problem. He's going to let the stars do whatever they want. Treat everyone fair, but don't treat everyone equally. You produce, you can, you know, have your podcast. Everybody else know. So why with Dion? I saw one reporter in Bleacher Report that when Mike McCarthy's gone, as I sip on some more coffee, Bill Belichick is the one strongest candidate. If Bill Belichick comes, it has to be a deal similar to Bill Parcells. You can try and get these players, cool. They can't talk to you. They cannot go above me. I'm going to hire my staff. As a matter of fact, the only person that I think deserves, when the new coach comes into play, that deserves to stay, is Al Harris, DB coach for us. Ever since he's been the DB coach, the Dallas Cowboys, except for this season, have basically been either number 1 and 2 in interceptions. This is where Deron Bland's injury is so important. By the way, it started off bad with Sam Williams got towards ACL. He was the third rotating dude for pass rushing. And then it snowballed from there. So we got bad coaching, we got bad GM play, and an owner who also is the GM that refused to give up power because he swears he's the man to fix this shit. Dallas Cowboy fans, prepare for a long ass time before we can win again. Dallas needs a young, innovative coach that needs the authority to do what he has to do. Can't get that with Jerry. Sorry. It is what it is. And I'm gonna see if I can find it real quick. CeeDee Lamb's quote after the game. Obviously, everyone is looking to embarrass us. Remember, when you got that star on the helmet, the game means more to the opposite team. So they want to destroy Dallas, get their name in the record books, whatever you want to call it. Again, it's America's team. Either you love the Dallas Cowboys or you hate the Dallas Cowboys. Either way you slice it, you're probably going to get the opposite team's best shot. Hence, a couple weeks ago when the Detroit Lions ran not one, not two, but three offensive lineman eligible plays to embarrass you. That should have been it right there. You don't have talent. You don't have coaching. So this falls on Jerry Jones. Cowboy fans, this season is over. It's been over. And here's another thing that I know y'all don't want to hear. When we play the Washington Commanders next week, you realize the Washington Commanders, the first time I checked, is a 10-point favorite to beat the Dallas Cowboys. When has the last time you've seen the Washington Commanders, the team with the racial slur for a name, or the Washington football team, whatever y'all want to call yourselves this week, it don't matter. When's the last time you see them being a 10-point favorite? Not a favorite in the game. 10-point favorite. So they expect Dallas to get their ass beat. Hey, man, it is what it is. Wash my hands of it. I'm a Cowboy fan. I'm going to watch the games. I got to analyze it. And I promise, I don't feel like it no more. Just talking about the Dallas Cowboys got me depressed. Put it this way. Okay, Commanders fans, here's your little 5 minutes. The Eagles should have beat y'all badly. 2 field goals missed. And Cliff Kingsbury's offense with Jaden Daniels, even though I think Jaden Daniels more hurt on his ribs than anything else, they figured the offense out. It doesn't take long for defense coordinators to figure it out. You're going to beat our asses. You're going to make the playoffs. But then possibly get your ass beat in the playoffs. But enjoy your season, because this is the first season in a long time I actually see Washington, the whole city and the whole DMV area uplifted. Because as I said before, I said it once, say it again. Jaden Daniels, quarterback-wise, was better than Caleb Williams. I said it again. That's your 5 minutes. I don't even feel like talking about y'all. But this is crazy. I hope Dallas is not on any more prime time. Well, got the Thanksgiving Day game against the Giants. After that, I don't want to see Dallas on prime time no more. We don't deserve it. And until an 82-year-old man sits down and says, I am legitimately the problem, let me go ahead and hand this off to my son, Steven, who probably is going to hire an actual GM or give Will McKay the power to be the GM, since really he's the one that's got all the star players, and Jerry just takes credit for it like he normally does, as I sip on some more coffee. At a certain point, the nightmare's got to end. Dallas has not been to an NFC Championship game nor Super Bowl since 1995. So, come next year, it's 30 years. You're the problem, Jerry. You know you're the problem. Your ego will not allow you to release the problem and let someone else actually fix it. The Dallas Cowboys are the only team in professional sports today that their owner is the face of the franchise. And that ain't good. As I leave here, once again, I'd like to thank Rose Sweets LLC, the best cake, pops, and cupcakes in the DMV area. Thank you for your sponsorship. You can reach them at roll_sweets_LLC on both Facebook and Instagram. You can also reach them at rollsweetsllc at gmail.com. And a couple people ask me how is Row spelled? It's RO, not ROW, RO _sweets_LLC. Also, thank you once again to Riverside FM to give me the platform to get this face and this voice to the masses, to give y'all what the hell y'all looking for. And please like, share, and subscribe to Hey Yo with D Sheldon. Once again, please like, share, and subscribe. Like, share, and subscribe to Hey Yo with D Sheldon on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. And you can follow me at TikTok at Row. I'm sorry, not Row. You can follow me on TikTok at Hey Yo exclamation point with D Sheldon on TikTok, and Hey Yo D Sheldon .bsky.social on Blue Sky. I'm gonna holler at y'all later on this week, because like I said, I got some brewing. Express some thoughts with something. But until then, as always, as I tell y'all, may Father and ancestors take care of you, your loved ones, or anybody else you care about.